because none of my camera equipment has been working lately. Like, I have my Canon here, I have my Sony here, and this camera I've had for years. Like, I think I've had this camera maybe 6 years, and it's giving me a hard time. Like, it just stopped working today. So, yeah, I got this one. I bought this one earlier today. And I know how to use this camera, but at the same time, it's like, it's giving me problems too. So, so I tried to live stream on my MacBook Pro. It didn't work. I tried to live stream on Instagram, and for some reason, I got like a shit ton of violations on Instagram. And I think it's from arguing with Dussies, because the Dussies come in my comments and they say all kinds of just crazy stuff. So I am shut down on Instagram live. And I use some weird like streaming app that you pay $2.99 for in order to live stream on YouTube. And even that shit wasn't working. I was like, Lord, maybe I shouldn't be live streaming. But I had a really bad day today. I had a really interesting like day, to the point where I'm sitting here now and I'm having some Stella Rosa pink, little cheap little wine that my daughter's father put me onto. Like, he came to visit a couple of weeks ago, and he bought a bottle of Stella Rose, and I was like, I'll try it. So that's what I've been drinking all night. But I was sifting through TikTok before I got on here, and I saw this clip of this girl who was saying that women should go back to the way that women used to do stuff in like the 50s and 60s and shit, and how these women would only get married for money and men got married for beauty. And women getting married for love is something new. And so I was like, wow. She was just saying that women should go back to marrying for money. And I was thinking to myself, like, why do you have to pick one or the other? Like, why does it have to be either I'm going to marry a man for love or I'm going to marry him for money? And I can't have like this duality to where I can love him and he can be financially stable at the same time. And I also was thinking about the fact that our grandmothers and our great grandmothers didn't have the opportunities that women have now. We have so many opportunities to go out there and get money. Like, getting money online is even easy. Like, women can go do that now. So they really don't need men financially. And I tell women all the time, you don't need a provider. You need a maintainer. You need to create a lifestyle for yourself, a luxury lifestyle for yourself. And a man needs to come along and help you maintain that lifestyle that you have already created for yourself. And even though that's a better situation for a lot of men, it's some men out there that actually believe that that's a bad thing. Like, that's gonna, harm them. But I think it's because a lot of men are insecure to the point where the only thing that they feel like they have to offer a woman is money. So if you strip them of that tool to attract women, then what could possibly attract women to them? I think it's a lot of men out there that are worried about that. So they don't like dating women who generate their own income. Now, another thing that I think is a false narrative is that men automatically assume that because a woman is generating her own income, she will be difficult to deal with. And I think it's not as simple as a cut and dry thing to where, hey, Miss Whitty, it's not a simple cut and dry thing to where a woman is making her own money, and her making money just makes her have like this attitude. It's not supposed to make her have this attitude to where suddenly she doesn't listen to a man at all. One thing you can't do is control a woman once she gets to that level, because you can't. Like, money controls people to the point where if they don't have anything to eat, drink, somewhere to live, of course they're going to do anything to get it. So because women don't have to deal with men anymore to get room and board from these men, I think a lot of men feel like they're losing power, they're losing control. Hold on, wait. Yeah, maintenance of self and then co-maintenance with a partner. Yeah, like interdependence. Interdependence is one of the healthiest relationships that you can have with somebody. And I think a lot of men who are so scared of just doing something other than paying women off are worried they're going to just be single if women start getting this mindset of creating their own income. And I personally remember all of the stories from my grandmother or my great grandmother of having to deal with a lot of bullshit from men just to stay married. And I feel like a lot of people, especially women, stay inside of marriages and put up with so much crap just because they don't have anywhere to go if they leave. Like, and I honestly feel like no woman was like, hey, I want to be a single mother or I want to raise a family by myself. And so when these women get into these marriages and they might be abusive or they might be not being satisfied sexually in them, or her husband might be cheating, they don't necessarily want to leave because it's like, where I'm going to go? I got 2 kids I got to take care of. How I'm going to take care of them by myself? And honestly, no woman is like praying to God to be a single mom. That's not something that women are just going around doing. I don't know why people think single mothers want it to be that way, or that we chose it. I think a lot of people think we chose it because some women saw a man wasn't taking care of his other kids, and then she turned around and had kids with him. Like he didn't not like she saw him taking care of some kids, like she thought he would be a good father to her kids. And some men are good fathers to children that don't belong to them but don't take care of their own kids. I notice that as a pattern. But a lot of the stuff that men do as far as family goes and children, I find it extremely disappointing that they tend to be so detached. Not just from reality, like the reality of the situation, the reality of who they are. In fact, how much power they have, even if they aren't providing financially solely. Men still have a lot of power inside of their family. And when they're not present, it affects the entire like dynamic of the family. It's the same thing if a man is raising a child without a mom. It's the same thing. It's like you have to have both there to have like some type of healthy family structure. And then if you're raising a child by yourself, you kind of got to do the role of two parents. That's why a lot of single mothers will celebrate Father's Day. I seen this clip of this one girl who took her son. She gave her son money and had him take her on a date. And she showed him how to date. And it was actually people upset that this woman took her son and taught her son how to go on a date. And I'm thinking to myself, why is this something that people are upset about? Like, why would this be something people tripping off of? His father isn't there. So who else was going to teach him how to, treat women? And I think a lot of these men, especially since the passing of Kevin Samuels, I've seen a lot of men be hurt because I believe that Kevin Samuels was their father figure. They believed, he was basically the replacement for the father that they didn't have. And so I've noticed that a lot of men who don't have fathers or didn't have any positive male role models cling on to that man. So it's like, to hear how they speak so negatively about women, you can tell they had no real guidance or no real positive role models in their life. Because if they did, a lot of the stuff that Kevin Samuel said wouldn't have been okay to them. Like, they wouldn't have thought it was okay. Because anyone with a positive male role model, or anyone who grew up in a healthy environment, wouldn't have clung on to something so toxic. And even the topic of is love more meaningful than money? Even to hear women actually trying to figure out which one is more important is strange to me. And that women think you can only choose one or the other. Because to me, it's like, you need both. You need love from your husband or your wife, you need money from your husband or your wife. It needs to be a partnership. And a lot of people don't know how to unify in that way. I think that women also were trained to always believe that men are supposed to make more money than us. Like we are supposed to be in a lesser position than them, regardless to what we do for a living or who, when a man is present, we're supposed to be less than. And a lot of women feel like they can't function properly without a man. They can't self-govern. And my thing is, if you couldn't self-govern, right? If you couldn't take care of yourself, I'm pretty sure God would supply something that you need. You know what I mean? Like a person, or like even with me, like my son's father doesn't help me take care of my son, but for some reason it's always someone there to help me with my son. You know what I mean? Like if one person has left, like it's a lot of men that come into my life, right? Let me just rewind a little bit. A lot of men come into my life via the internet, right? I don't mean in my real life. I mean via the internet. And men will come into my life and they want to help me take care of my son financially, right? So they'll send me bread. A lot of men send me bread. Men been sending me bread since my pregnancy. Men been sending me bread since the beginning of time, okay? Like men have no problem with sending me bread, okay? But men want to help me take care of my son, right? And if one man decides that he doesn't want to take care of my son anymore, here comes God sending me an entirely different man. Who's like, hey, Soncerae, I'm going to send you just $3,000 because I feel like it. And I'll be like, okay. They just be like, you're a sweet woman. I like who you are. I think you deserve this. You're really a God-fearing person. And, I really like you. So here, like me, see, Mingo, like you. Let me tell you something about you, Mingo. I shouldn't. Here's something. Let me rewind back because Mingo, I see you in my super chat. Listen, remember when you bailed me out of jail? Remember that whole thing to where I was about to go to jail? Let me tell y'all the story because y'all don't know the story of me and Mingo. But I think I was like driving somewhere. I don't know what I was doing, but I ended up with some type of traffic violation. And they were trying to penalize me super bad, right? Real bad. And I was dating Priest at the time. And Mingo, right, was like kind of, I want to say fathery, like father figure kind of. And he was very spiritual leader type of person, right? So he had so much faith in me and Priest's relationship. Like he really loved the idea of me and Priest being together. And at the time, he was still single. He's married now, but he was still single back then. And he was, still looking for somebody to be his wife. And I don't think he was ever interested in me romantically or anything, but I think he just loved having like conversations back and forth with me. And so Gwinnett County, I don't even think it was Gwinnett County. I think it was like Swanee. I don't know if y'all know the outskirts of Atlanta like that, but you got DeKalb County, and outside of DeKalb County is Gwinnett County. And then outside of Gwinnett is this city called Swanee. And they have their like individual like county shit going on. And Swanee was really trying to punish me for some shit. I don't even remember the exact traffic violation. And my ass was about to go to jail because I couldn't pay the fine. And you had to pay the fine by a certain time. And Mingo heard that story and just gave me the money that I needed because I was about to be under arrest. And I remember going to Priest and saying to Priest, I think you should contact Mingo because he gave me like $600 because it was like $600, $700, something like that. And I remember going to Priest and I said, you should thank Mingo because he just basically just bailed me out of jail because I was like 2 seconds from the jail. And I remember Priest saying to me, why I gotta say thank you? Like, what the fuck I gotta say thank you for? He gave the money to you. And this should have been my sign to leave Priest alone then, because I wasn't pregnant with Justice yet. This was in the beginning of our relationship. And me and Priest used to go half on everything. Like, I used to help him pay for anything that we was doing. I don't care if it was traveling, going to restaurants, whatever we was doing. Me and Priest always went half on it, because I always feel like, you know, as a woman, I need to invest in whatever it is that I'm doing, my relationship, my business, my family. I'm always going to invest financially into it. So Priest was like, why I gotta say thank you? He gave the money to you. And I was like, no, he gave the money to us. Because I remember Mingo's message when he sent me the money. And he was just wishing me and Priest the best. Like, he really believed in me and Priest. And a lot of people believed in me and Priest. A lot of people really thought that we was going to, you know, make it. And that was my red flag right there. When I told him to say thank you to Mingo, and he was just like, he had this nasty attitude, like, why I gotta say thank you to him? And he knew what kind of person Mingo was to me, because I kept saying he's kind of like a father figure. He's kind of spiritual, and, you know, he believes in the universe and his ancestors and stuff like that. And we talk about that a lot. And Priest knew that. And at the time, Priest was supposedly like the type of person that was into spirituality as well. You know, he used to wear ankh around his neck and all that stuff. So I should have known then when he said it to me that he was not of spiritual nature, because I guess he was just depicting himself to be that, wearing that ankh. You know, he was just like a hotep. Just, you know, didn't really know anything about spirituality, but was going around claiming that that's what he was. So I should have known that was a red flag back then. But Mingo really helped me out. But the point I was trying to make before Mingo came on was that anytime I need something for my son or for me, God always provided some type of way. And sometimes it's a man. Like, sometimes it's like I said, one day somebody will just hit me up and be like, here's $3,000. Like, easy. It's like money fall from the sky. And it's because I pray. I think it's because I pray so much and I meditate so much all the time. And I'm never like, I mean, sometimes it might get tough a little bit because I'm like tired. Like today is my first day kind of just having some time to myself, because I don't have a lot of time to myself. And when I mean time to myself, I mean just 24 hours. The last time I had time to myself, maybe it was like 2 weeks ago, and it was like for maybe 2 or 3 hours. But today I have my first 24 hours just by myself. And so instead of me doing what my family told me to do, which was take a rest, I decided I wanted to work and do some videos and some live streams and stuff. And it's just been difficult. Like I was saying at the beginning of the chat, like one of my cameras is just screwed up. So I had to give me another one. And for some reason, I can't get this one to focus properly. And I just bought this today. So it's just like, Lord, like that's a whole nother thing. So I think that's the universe just telling me to like chill. So after getting fed up, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give me a salad. I got me a salad from Urban Plates. I don't know if y'all have Urban Plates where y'all come from, where y'all live, but it was like salmon. I had DoorDash bring it to me, because my daughter has my car. I had her drop me off. So I can't really go anywhere. It put me in a position to where I can't leave, because me, I'm the type of person, I will like get in the car and go somewhere and go do some work. I'm quite the workaholic, but I went and got that and some Stella Rosa. So I'm a little tipsy, a little bit, you know, it's Stella Rosa, it's wine, but I haven't had a drink in a long time too. So this is like my first drink in like, I don't know, I think since before, no, I think my birthday, like 3 years ago was the last time I had a drink. I had a drink on my birthday. And then before that, I hadn't drank since before I got pregnant with Justice. So I'm just now starting to like do regular stuff, because I had stopped doing a lot of like usual Soncerae stuff. Like I know y'all could tell in a lot of my videos, I was like different. And so now I'm starting to kind of go back to the way I was. But as far as relationships go, as far as like money and love, and I don't see people talking like when I'm on TikTok and when I'm on YouTube. I don't see as much, I don't know, conversations about how to love each other. I see people complaining all the time about what they didn't get in the relationship. I see people hurt. I see people upset, frustrated. And it's just like, if we all seeing each other do this, right? We all seeing each other complain about the same type of shit. And you got all of these life coaches and dating coaches and all of these people out here telling you what you should do. Instead of y'all listening to a lot of us who are certified or who are, we have licenses and we've we have experience in it, and we can teach you how to like love one another and unify if you don't really know how to do it. Because a lot of times people just don't know how to communicate and don't know how to listen. A lot of y'all don't listen to the people who are created for you to help you. You know, navigating through this life in general can be kind of complicated, you know, and if you don't have the proper guidance, like I didn't have the proper guidance. Like I didn't grow up in a household where somebody sat me down and said, okay, this is how you cook such and such, or this is how you clean, or this is how you tell a boy you like him, or this is how you balance a checkbook. I remember when I got my first checkbook, my mother just gave me a checkbook. She didn't explain it to me or anything. So, you know, a lot of the stuff that I had to learn about life, I had to learn it on my own. And learning how to be a girlfriend came naturally to some degree, but it's still certain things that you got to learn inside of a relationship that you only learn from failed relationships or from other people and their relationship. And then once you go through all of those experiences, you start to like structure or mold what type of relationship you want and what type of marriage you want. And nowadays, when I talk about me being single at 41, a lot of people think, oh, there must be something wrong with her. You know what I mean? And y'all do this to women who are over 30 all the time. There must be something wrong with her. And it's not even that. It's more of, I feel so comfortable single. And I feel so like okay like this. I give off that vibe when I meet men. I give off the vibe that I'm okay with this. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the vibe. So of course it's going to make men not try to get at me because that's the energy I'm putting out. It's like I'm so comfortable being this way that it's just like I'm good. If I never get married, I'd be okay. Because what stressed me the most was being inside of a relationship. And if we all know that monogamous relationships have stressed us, why do we keep being in them? Like why people don't just, I don't understand why people feel more comfortable with being in a monogamous relationship and cheating on somebody than they do actually just admitting that they're polyamorous and want more than one partner. I don't understand it. Like that doesn't register to me. Yeah, you can tell I'm tired. I don't know what time it is where y'all at. Y'all on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. I don't even know what time it is. I don't yet because I can't see it I'm on my phone, so I can't see it. Let me go get my MacBook. Hold on, give me a second. For some reason, I couldn't live stream on my Mac. Okay, so it's 9:12. Yeah, I usually get tired around 9 because I get up at like 5. But then I wake up a lot. Like I put on my IG stories. I don't know if you guys, if you have an Apple Watch, you know how you can set your Apple Watch to like record how often you sleep. And you can do it to your phone too. And my phone showed me I only sleep 3 hours a night. And it's because I wake up so much. Like I wake up over and over again because of my son or because I think I get like an idea. Like sometimes I get dreams and I like to write down the dream or I put the dream on the notepad in my phone. I work a lot. Like I have a store that I am putting together for business women, for them to have attire So I'm working on that too. So it's like I'm working on so many things, and my books and stuff. Like I have to put out my Owning Opulence Part 2 book. Let's talk about Owning Opulence right quick since we're talking about money. My Owning Opulence book was like hard because when I wrote it, I didn't have a lot of time. And I wanted the book to come out at a certain time, right? And it was difficult to even get it out at the right time. And so I had to like hurry up and write it. And if you read it, it's like a quick read. Like I don't do long-winded books, right? I don't think I'm ever going to do it. Maybe I do that because I think the Unicorn Atlanta book going to be long-winded. But and I'll tell you about the Unicorn Atlanta book in a minute. But the Owner Opulence book, it was kind of tricky because I didn't know whether to put it in the finance and business part, the self-help part, or the relationships part, because I'm talking about all three. And when I go and I look at my Amazon reviews, right, I can always tell when it's somebody from YouTube, because the community on YouTube has a specific type of tone. Like the stuff that y'all say and do on here, it's easy to pick y'all up on other platforms. So in my Amazon reviews, and I saw that people was like posting negative stuff. I took heed to it, and I was like, okay, people saying I misspell stuff, people saying all kinds of stuff. So let me just rewrite it. So I rewrote it and did a little better grammar. And I still look at the Amazon. Well, no, I don't look at the Amazon reviews that people don't send me, because if they don't send it to me, I don't see it. Because I decided to not go back and look, because somebody, I think another person that is an author, she told me not to look at them. She told me not to look at my reviews because people could be mean. And so anyway, it was because I wrote so much about priest in my Owner Opulence book. My Owner Opulence Part 2 book won't be anything about priest. But the first one had to be, because it was like an introductory book, just telling people who I am, because a lot of people didn't know who I was, and they didn't know my story. They didn't know what I went through. They didn't know that I was struggling. Like, they didn't know why I slept in the back of a damn Ford Explorer with this dude. They didn't know what was going on. So I was like, let me just write it down so I won't have to keep making videos about it forever. So anyway, that first book was like, damn. And then a lot of y'all don't read. A lot of y'all comfortable with being ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people just don't. A lot of people feel like in order to learn something, it got to be so entertaining. It got to be like I got to be telling jokes, or I got to be talking ugly about somebody, or I got to be, like tearing somebody down or something in order for them to even listen to what I'm saying. And so at first on a Opulence book, it was like real tricky. And so the second one is a little bit more detailed about how I earned $1 million and how I burnt through that shit, and how I'm earning, $1 million now. And it's like, somebody was talking to me earlier and Kevin Samuels on my community tab, because somebody was like, why are you asking people to prove to you how much Kevin Samuels make? And the reason why I'm asking people to prove me wrong is because I've done enough research myself to know what's going on with this man. And I think the first time that I saw some solid research done about him, it was from Marquette Burton. And he had posted like proof that Kevin Samuels didn't have a legitimate business in his name. And so from then on, I started seeing a whole bunch of other people post up content that proved that Kevin Samuels was fraudulent, right? So as the rumor spreads now that he only had $1,000 in his account, and I put up a video saying that, somebody came in my comments and was like, how are you listening to gossip? And, gossip sites say that he had under $1,000. And I'm like, well, it was the gossip sites that said he passed away. They got to it before the mainstream media got to it. Before a legitimate media source, whatever, got to it, the gossip sites had it. Everyone was gossiping about it. So I don't think that gossip sites, I think some of them might be legitimate, but then others can be questionable. Like the one, famouspeople.com, I think. Last year, I was looking on there and they said that Kevin Samuels' net worth was like 2 million or some shit like that. And I was like, is this something I could believe? You know what I mean? Like, is this something I can believe? But I don't want to spread misinformation about the dude. And if all of these people are sitting here and they're telling me, oh, he's wealthy, or he's this, or he's that, or he's that, because he said all of this stuff, I'm like, okay, well, if he did have what he had, then show me proof so I can make a video saying, hey, he did have $1 million. He was a millionaire, and it would help the rumor that he wasn't one go away. So that's why I keep telling everybody, send me proof. And it isn't because I'm like, no, you got to prove it to me, because, personally, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. But, everybody wants to know the truth about the situation. So you got some decent, like, proof that he was a millionaire, and send it to me. And I will be happy to make a video about it. And, what's interesting about that as well is I heard a clip of his daughter today. And she'd been talking about him maybe 11, 10 months ago on YouTube, and I just heard that clip where she was just crying her eyes out, and she was talking about how much she hated him. And I was like, this is why men, to me, this is another reason why I think that a lot of men should be maintainers instead of providers. Because, and this has nothing to do with Kevin Samuels and his daughter, it just reminded me of this. So the reason why I think that men should be maintainers instead of providers is because when you are a provider, you rarely spend time with your family. You're working a lot. You're always gone. You have the financial load on your back, and it's all you're doing. You're not spending time with your family in the home. And that's why the pressures of being a provider is not something I feel like men should do. The reason why I believe men should be maintainers is because when you have a wife who generates income, or you have your child's mother who generates income and she has a job as well, you can switch roles sometimes and take a break from what you are consistently doing all the time. Like, for instance, let me give you an example. When I was struggling, when I first started taking care of Justice, like when Justice was first born, I was struggling. And so I wouldn't burn out. Like, you know how you get burnt out when you go to work every day and you're doing the same thing? When I would drive Uber, and I would drive Uber maybe 6 hours a day. If I ever got sick of just being around people, but I still needed to make some money, I would do DoorDash. So I would just take a break from doing Uber, and I would go do DoorDash for however long. And they kind of both gave me the same amount of money, right? So it was just like, I'm just going to switch. Or I would do like Uber Eats. So that's just an example. If it give you a better understanding of what I'm saying, you don't get burnt out when you got somebody to help you, or you can switch the project that you're working on, or the task that you have. When you take a break from it, it definitely helps. So with me, it's like with men, if you're going to work every day, and you don't take time to be with your family, you doing 14-hour days and stuff like that because you're the sole provider, you never get to see your kids. You never get to see your wife. You never get, to be loved on. And it's the same thing with women. When women are relying on men to be providers, they're sitting at home taking care of kids 24/7, and they don't get any breaks. Like, I know what this feels like of being a parent 24/7. I just said, like, this is the first time I've had 24 hours just by myself, just to go to sleep. Like, once I finish this live stream, I'm going to sleep because I need to. If I can go to sleep, the Stella Rosa might help me go to sleep. I have trouble sleeping, but I am constantly like, is my son okay? Is my son okay? Is my son? You know what I'm saying? Like, every minute. And I don't have somebody there to, if I need a break and I'm tired, I can't go to his father and be like, can you watch Justice for the weekend, or can you take Justice out because I need rest? I don't have that. So can you imagine being a mom, right? And you got a whole husband, and he working 16-hour days. So by the time he get back in the house, he tired. So he can't really take off the slack for you. You know what I mean? So that's why it's important for people to have both parents, because co-parenting is a thing. You don't have to be married in order for to have a healthy co-parenting relationship with people. And y'all know I believe that wholeheartedly, because me and my daughter's father are that way. We've been that way. My daughter's 21 now. We've had a very healthy, drama-free co-parenting relationship. I think out of the, I don't know, 25 or 26 years I know him, I think me and him have gotten to an argument maybe 2 or 3 times. Like, we don't really get into an argument, because I think for the most part, he and I was like, listen, don't play with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't play that. Like, we ain't got to like each other. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to like each other. We just got to respect each other as parents. And my daughter's relationship with her father has nothing to do with me. And I don't want to have any, like, I don't want to touch that. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people want to use that relationship as a way to harm someone. You know, and I'm just not like that. I'm just not like that. So anyway, it's women who are married and they're single mothers. It's women who are divorced, who haven't seen the fathers of their child since he left. And people forget this. Like, they forget that that's the concept of what a single mother is. It's different kinds of single mothers. Because I think the term single has nothing to do with your relationship status. It solely means a solo parent. That's what I think it means, solo parent. And so, yeah, no woman is walking around saying, hey, I want to be a single mother. Some women have followed the order of operations and still ended up becoming a single mother. And that's unfortunate. But that's why I tell women and men, be selective about who you had kids with. Like, don't be so anxious to, like, lay up under somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because you laying up under somebody because you want to just bust one accidentally. And condoms ain't always 100%. And most of the time, men don't want to use condoms anyway. And they think they pull out game so strong. You know what I mean? Or y'all want to come up in a chick over and over and over and over and over again. And then when she get pregnant, it's, oh, I didn't want to be a daddy. Well, what you come all up in her for? That's your resource. Fellas, your sperm is your resource. That's your resource. Why are you giving your resource away to just random women? Women you wouldn't even share your life with, you sharing your bed with. A woman that you wouldn't even introduce to your family, you coming all up in. And then if she gets pregnant, you're like, oh, I don't want to be a dad. She should get an abortion. That's crazy. You think condoms do it? Condoms are not that bad, especially the ribbed ones. like I've experienced some condoms that it feel like it's not even on. It's just you have to find the one that fits you. And I think a lot of people, a lot of men especially, they don't like them. They think it's not gonna feel as good. No, you just need to go find the one that fits you. You know, and I don't mean go get you a big one and wear that shit wrinkly, that shit baggy like pants. Or you like, don't do that. But be selective about who you have children with. Ladies, especially, because you having a child affects your body. You know, you the one that gotta lay up on that delivery table, and you might not make it. And a lot of these men don't understand that. They don't understand that when a woman is giving birth, there is a possibility that she could die. And these men out here who don't take care of their kids or speak so negatively about their baby mama all the time, I'm like, y'all don't understand what it means to be a mother. Like, y'all don't get it. Like, it's a hell of a responsibility. And I think the reason why men don't get it is because they don't have that responsibility. And so many men feel so comfortable with walking away from their own children. And I'm like, why? Like, that's you. That's a piece of you. Like, why would you walk away from it like that? That's a piece of you. Like, when I see my kids, when I look at my son, and my son don't look nothing like Priest. Like, he used to when he was a baby, but now he looked just like me. He looked just like, Justice is a spitting image of me. He is a male me. How, I could not imagine knowing that a little mini me is walking in these streets and I don't know what he doing. I don't know where he at. I don't know. It's like your heart, and this is for the people who are childless. It's like your heart jumped out of your body, right? It has legs. Shit feels like shit has legs and it walks and it talks. You know what I mean? That's how I be. I be so scared, like I'm scared every moment. Like, is something gonna happen to him? Is he gonna be okay? Is he eating right? Is he doing blah, blah, blah? And it's just a constant, like, you know, and then they're around you all the time. So you're like, oh my God, please be quiet. Please stop doing that. Please do please don't do that. I'm consistently saying to my son, please stop. Please don't go there. Please don't do this. Please don't do that. It's like crazy. Let me see. Glad to see you live. Hey, I am live. Children should be playing with the right partner always. That's true. That's why I'm kind of upset. Me and Priest talked a lot about having justice. You know, we talked about having kids. We talked about having grandkids. You know what I mean? We were just sitting around talking about what kind of grandparents we would be. We talked about what lifestyle we wanted. And when justice came sooner than we planned, because he wasn't supposed to come like before we got married. We were supposed to get married and then, you know, we were supposed to get a place, get married, and then wait like a year and then have kids. And it didn't work like that. It went the other way, which shocked me. Like, I was like, oh my God, like what? Because I thought we was going to need a fertility doctor. But having the conversation, like, with someone about children and having that conversation more than once is important, because you gotta know who that person would be if you wasn't around. You have to ask a person, not just have the conversation about planning children, but you have to ask that person what kind of father or what kind of mother would they be if you wasn't around. That's the question. When you talking to these people, I don't care, like if you married right now or you in a relationship with somebody and y'all thinking about having children, ask that person what kind of parent they would be if you wasn't around. And this helps you figure out people like shit. It help you. Trust me, because if they give you a legitimate answer as far as, you know, yeah, I'm going to take care of my kids, yeah, you know, boop, 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 then you know that if y'all two break up, they still going to be a good parent. You have to find out whether that person would be a good parent. And that's hard to kind of figure out if they don't have kids already. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, how do you know someone is a good parent if they never had kids? Like, if they haven't had kids before, how do you know? You know? So I think the best way to figure that out is just ask them. Just ask them, what would they do with your kids if you died or if you left? You know, what kind of parent would they be? And that'll tell you a lot. But as far as money goes, back to this whole money thing with owner opulence, my part 2 is coming out and it's going to be detailed. But I put a voting system on my community tab about what book should I release next. And everyone was like, the Unicorn Atlanta book. So instead of me doing Owner Opulence 2 first, I'm going to do the Unicorn Atlanta book. Now, the Unicorn Atlanta book is about me and Chris Law. It's about me and Chris Law. And if you know anything about me and Chris Law, or you don't know who Chris Law is, then this book is definitely for you. Okay? Definitely for you. It's still some things that happen between me and Chris that I haven't shared. And the most important part about that book, I think, is that he opened my eyes to other types of relationships. Because I was thinking monogamous relationships were the only type of relationships to have. And by the time I met him, I had been cheated on so much in my relationships. I had just had a miscarriage. I had been cheated on. My boyfriend and I got into a physical fight in front of his house in my truck. And when I met Chris, he like opened me up to another world of what people be doing. Because I was like, when he first said it to me, you wanted to go to the swingers club, I was confused. Like, you want me to what? Excuse me, nigga? Like, I ain't going to goddamn swingers club. What's wrong with you? And it took him a while to get me to finally just be like, okay. Because I think it took him 3 months, maybe 4 months of him just suggesting it for me to just be like, okay. And he introduced me to, just a polyamorous lifestyle. But being introduced to a polyamorous lifestyle gives you another mindset about life in general, because you lose jealousy, if you know what I mean. Like, I ain't never really been a jealous person to begin with. And jealousy is very toxic. But when you see how calm people are in that dynamic, like in a polyamorous relationship where everybody is just kind of chill, you know what I'm saying? Like one person knows somebody else is sleeping with another person and everybody is just chill. I don't know, it kind of takes, put it like this. Let me give you another example. Let me give you another way to look at this. So when you go to a swingers club, right, at least around that time, when you go to a swingers club, inside of the club, you can't wear clothes, okay? You have to strip off your clothes. You can put on pajamas or you can put on a robe, but you can't have on regular clothes. So the fact that you don't have on clothes kinds of puts you in like a little bit of a comfort zone because you feel like you at home. You know what I mean? And the environment is usually homey. It's like couches and beds and it's like a home, right? It's built that way. Okay, not all swingers club, but most swingers clubs, it doesn't look like a club, right? It kind of looks like like homey a little bit. So, and it's like bedrooms, you know what I mean? So it kind of looks like a big ass house. And so you're feeling kind of comfortable for starters. And then the fact that you don't have to, you know how when you go to the club, right? You try to make sure you got on the nicest outfit so you can get somebody's attention. Especially women, you like to wear your bodycon, and fellas, you like to have your cologne on, and some of y'all are corny enough to wear shades in the club, shit like that. When you don't have any of that to help you like talk to people, you kind of talk to them different. So what was happening was when you get into the swingers party, the conversations that you're having, it aren't as superficial. It's not as shallow. And so your mindset changes. It's kind of like a culture shock because you're not used to interacting with people in that way. And it's like this shield has been taken off your face and you're sitting there and you're talking to somebody who feels just as comfortable as you do. And y'all are having like this interesting interaction. And so the book on Unicorn Atlanta is more about that than me and Chris. And I think when I tried to put it out the first time, I tried to put it out in 2016. And when I tried to put it out the first time, I think people thought it was like this tell-all book for me to just say something crazy about a man that I was dating. No, not dating, but I was like his little side chick or whatever. I think they was thinking it was something that it wasn't. But I also wanted women to understand that when they are hurting from something or when they need when they just got out of a relationship and they're dealing with a breakup, the best way to deal with that is not be in a relationship, not have sex, and don't be a side chick either. Because I think the reason why I feel so comfortable with being a side chick is because I kept getting cheated on. And so that's what Unicorn Atlanta is about. And I learned a lot about married people. Let me tell you something about married people. It isn't single people who be hoeing around. It's married people. Married people have so many secrets that they hold from each other. They seem to be a little bit unsure about each other a lot. And I noticed that about a lot of married people. And a lot of people who are, their marriage is on the rocks or their relationship is on the rocks, they feel like going to the swingers club will help their relationship. Or like you know how some people like to have a baby and they think the baby is going to make the relationship better. People do that with the swingers club and they do that with threesomes and stuff. And they do that with money. It is, you can't do those things. Those things are not going to help your relationship because a lot of times it's just going to prolong something that's already miserable, especially a baby. You know what I mean? A baby just prolongs you getting a divorce. That's all it does. Like, it is the same thing. Like, sometimes threesomes make the relationship worse. I remember this lady last week. I seen this lady. She was, met her husband. Not met her husband, but yeah, technically met her husband on a dating app because she was catfishing him. she seen that he was getting onto a dating app. So she created a profile on that dating app and pretended to be somebody else and started talking to her husband. And then her husband fell in love with each other on the app as a different people. She was a different person, and he didn't know that. So she was like, trying to figure out, should she tell him? And my thing was, don't tell him. Keep pretending. Like he was starting to ask her to go on a date. And I was like, go on a date, act like you don't know. Like, be the catfish. And when he see you and be like, oh my God, it's my wife, don't even be like, hi, my name is Jessica, and that's not your name. Hi, my name is Jessica. Nice to meet you. You know, shit like that. Because couples role play a lot. Couples role play a lot. And a lot of people who've been married for a long time, they are like best friends. I mean, and sometimes when you see people who like get divorced after being with each other for like 10 years, it's not as heartbreaking as you think to them. Like once they're divorced and they look back at them getting divorced, they're kind of like, I see what I did wrong. And yeah, I see why we're divorced. That's a lot of divorced people in my age group, because I'm 41. So people my age get divorced all the time. And some people who got married when they were young, or they got married when they were too young. Some people got married 22, 23. That's way too young to get married, because you kind of don't know who you are, you know, so you need to experience a little bit more life. Ooh, excuse me. So, what do you think? I mean, do you think that love is more important than money in a relationship? Because I know for me, I think both are equally important. I don't think one or the other is more important. I think they're equally there. I personally, I don't even think I know what love is. I don't. No one has ever loved me. I said that in my Own and Opulence book. No one has ever loved me. Um, I've heard a lot of men say it to me. I mean, and I've been proposed to plenty of times, but I don't think any of them genuinely loved me. You know, why do you think money is more important? See how one of y'all said money is more important, and then the other said love is more important. They're both important. And I think it just depends on the person and their perspective. And usually when people say money is more important, like, I believe money is more important to a certain degree, because love costs money. Like, your relationship costs money. You know, so like, for you to be able to go out, for you to even be able to have the lights on, for y'all to even sit down and have dinner, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have some money. They, yeah, you can live without love, but you can't live without food in the house. You can live, you just be living in a damn hut, living in a goddamn tent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be living, but you won't be living it's the lifestyle of luxury, you know? I know lack of finances is the number one cause for divorce. I I was doing a live stream once where I was talking about that, how money is the number one reason. And this goes back to what I said about the providers thing. Like, men shouldn't be providers. They should be maintainers. Like, for some reason, and I don't know why women are still on this hypergamy tip. In the United States, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the United States, you have to have two sources of income in your household. Two sources of income plus. It can't be one or the other. I believe maybe marriage should be canceled in the USA so it can be reconstructed. Many are avoiding getting into one due to how one-sided things are. Yeah. Because everybody's trying to get over on everybody. Bad sex. Bad sex. I mean, I think for me, sex is not at the top. I don't think I cared as much. Or I would have never dated my son's father. He sucked. He sucked in bed. Ugh. Ugh. Gag me with a fucking spoon. He was so terrible at it. He is so terrible at sex. I mean, at least with me. He might have been better with some other women. You know what I mean? Like, but with me, like, I put it this way. I like passion. I like I like lovemaking. You know what I mean? Um, I like to take my time. You know what I mean? I don't like all this. Listen, I don't know what y'all be doing in bed, but it has to feel right. Like, number one, I have to love them. Then it really gets good. I need to also know that my man can provide for me and our children if I can't work because of the children. Yeah, right. But that's what I mean when I say men are maintainers. It's a partnership. You know what I'm saying? It's like if he needs something one day and I got it, I got it. If I need something one day and he got it, he got it. It's not he got it, he got it, he got it, he got it, he got it. And then he got it, he got it. No, that's selfish. That's selfish. Because consider if you knew the economy, if you knew the market, if you knew how money works, you would know that that's selfish. And I feel like a lot of the women who are always looking for like hypergamy situations, I think they don't understand finances. They're not financially literate. Because if they did, they would not want their man to have that much financial pressure. And they will also know what the average income is for a man who lives in the United States. I don't think these women know that. I don't think they really think about it. And they compare their own incomes if they have income. You know, the days are over where women are making a little bit of money. We can go out there and get money now. When it comes down to love, is God characteristics. I would never trade that for money. Well, see, here's the thing I noticed. King Tay. Here's the thing I noticed about people. A lot of people don't believe in God. On this platform alone, on the black sector of YouTube, I promise you, on the black sector of YouTube, I'm telling you, 75 to 80% of these people don't believe in God. You don't hear them talk about God. They don't have love in their voice. They don't have empathy. They don't care. I mean, the other day I was, Kevin Samuels just passed away, right? Kevin Samuels, everybody's talking about Kevin Samuels, right? I seen a video that somebody made of him in hell. Now I don't like the dude, don't get twisted. I ain't like him. But the stuff I seen people post about this man, if they had God in their heart, they would never do that. Because when you have God in your heart, it makes you so much softer and kinder. It's like you have so much compassion and empathy for people. You just won't do certain things, What if the nosy friend put their spin on your affairs? Where does the line get drawn between a man and a woman and outsiders that come along and can interrupt everything? Outsiders can't interrupt your relationship unless you allow it. And that's what, I can speak from experience. My last relationship taught me a lot of lessons. A whole lot of lessons. You know how they always tell you should like keep your relationship private or keep your relationship a secret and don't post it on the internet or don't tell anybody? I think that's bullshit. Because that's like putting, like, say for instance, you were on the internet, right? And you just lived in your neighborhood. You wouldn't want anybody in your neighborhood to know you married. It's the same thing. So there's a difference between secrecy and privacy. And people can know you in a relationship. People are supposed to know that you're in a relationship. They're supposed to know that you are connected to somebody else. Okay? What they're not supposed to know or what they're not supposed to have is power over their relationship. Regardless to their opinions, you should never let outsiders in their opinion about your situation affect your specific relationship, because it's things about your relationship that we ain't ever gonna know. Because usually your relationship is between you and that person. So only you and that person know intricate details about it. So even if you sit there and you tell us the story, we're still not going to completely fully grasp the situation. We can give you advice, but the most part, when people see you happy in a relationship, they'll try to destroy it, because a lot of people are unhappy. They don't want to see you happy. I was watching a B Simone channel. Brittany Renner was on there. She was saying she felt like somebody was never going to wife her. So she was being a side chick to a man because she felt that way. And she would look at other people's relationships. Being a side chick, she would look at the relationship he was in and be like, love ain't real. Your relationship don't work. And she would take delight in it. And she admitted this. She would take delight in it because she was miserable. And it's people everywhere, even offline, miserable. And they're going to try to fuck your shit up. So you got to know that and not let them fuck with your relationship in that way. They can be nosy all they want to. You can say mind your business. Or you can tell them the story and just be like, oh, I just wanted you to listen. Your input, I'm not really going to apply to my relationship like that. You know what I mean? Because you know nothing about my relationship outside of what I just told you. The white sector of YouTube is the same, trust me. On the white sector of YouTube, depending upon what genre, they might have the issues like I heard the makeup community had it at some point. It's some type of gaming community, but they don't have that in the community I am with true crime. Like the true crime community don't have it. I watch true crime all the time. They don't have that at all. Like I don't see them arguing. Like they work together a lot. True crime content creators work together a lot, and they are very like. I rarely see any drama with them, and a lot of motivational speakers, a lot of life coaches. We don't do drama with each other. The only time I've ever experienced drama with a life coach or another dating coach was when I was dealing with a black man. I've never been dealing with a white or a non-black dating coach and some drama pop off. It's never happened. Or a life coach. It's never happened. It's only happened with black men. Like my first dramatic experience with another dating coach or life coach was Derek Jackson. And I think after that, it might have been Mr. Let Go, maybe. Because Mr. Let Go to me is just a little baby Kevin Samuels. And a lot of times this stuff's so deep rooted. You can look at certain content creators and the content that they post and tell that their shit deep rooted. So a lot of times their content don't have nothing to do with them helping somebody. It has to do with them releasing their own shit. Let's play what if. What if two people that want a marriage get rid of all social media, whatever, and start there? What link? There was a time where people didn't have social media and they still had drama. Think about, I don't know if y'all know this, but when I was in high school, we had internet. I'm 41. So when we was in high school, we ain't had internet. Drama still popped off. Somehow, drama still popped off because it's not the internet. The internet is just a tool that people are using to pop drama off. You know what I'm saying? It's not the internet. It's the people that's making the tool be. Listen, people, it's y'all. Y'all do it to each other. And I just be looking. I just be looking. Like this one girl, 2 days ago, she posted her ex-husband's wedding photos because her ex-husband wedding photos to his new wife. She noticed that his new wife was wearing her old wedding dress. Her old wedding dress she had left at his mother's house by accident, and they left it there and they lived in another state. So this man, the disgusting, trifling nigga he is, used his ex-wife's dress and gave it to his new wife to wear at the wedding. So she was posting pictures of her in the dress and posting his new wedding photos with his new wife. Messy. I was on Facebook like, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God. The internet is like, is at least a paper trail. Well, so was like a newspaper or a letter or a recorded phone call or a three-way. Like, it was if the social media wasn't there, I think social media affected relationships in the way that people could still keep in touch with their exes, or they can get reacquainted with their exes again. You know what I mean? Like if your ex went away, for a little while, 3 years later, you hit them up on Facebook. Because when I first got on Facebook, you had to be in college to get on Facebook. You couldn't just get on Facebook. You had to be in college and you had to put your college information in there to get on the site. And so that's how I started my Facebook page. But once everybody started getting on Facebook, I started to see people I went to high school with. I started to see like ex-boyfriends and stuff. And as I've gotten older, I noticed that people use it to get in touch with people that they used to hang out with, or they get in touch with people that they wouldn't usually deal with. Like the connect that we have with celebrities now, we didn't have that when we were young. We couldn't talk to celebrities in that way. Celebrities was so far from us. We couldn't reach out to them. We couldn't call them. But now you can get your ass on Instagram and Twitter and talk to your favorite celebrity. Drake followed somebody's wife the other day. Somebody was trolling Drake. And Drake was like, oh, you gonna troll me? Okay, I'm gonna follow your wife. Back then, when I was young, we couldn't do that. We could listen, what I look like hitting up Jay-Z. If I wanted to talk to Jay-Z when I was in high school, I would have to go to a concert, try to sneak backstage, and talk to Jay-Z that way. First, I had to wait till he came to my city, then like sneak. I couldn't just get on Instagram and be like, Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Nah, no. That's a whole new age shit. I'm saying the internet has birthed millions of narcissists, and due to this broken spirits all over the ghetto net, certain groups. I think it just exposed groups that were already there, like certain types of things that was happening. It just exposed it. Because I don't think it's nothing new. I don't think all of the shit that people be doing, like cheating and lying and sleeping with each other's sister and mother and whatever, and rape and molestation and murder and all that stuff, I think this always been happening. It's just exposed more now. Like when people be like, we have global warming and all of these crazy natural disasters, it has escalated since whatever year. And it's like, no, it's just we didn't know about all of it before, because it was happening on the side of the world we couldn't connect to. We couldn't talk to people on the other side of the earth because we didn't have no way to do it. We didn't know what was going on over that motherfucker. So yeah, hold on, wait. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it affected relationships negatively to a certain degree, but I don't think it's the catalyst for all of the bullshit that's happening in the relationships. I think the bullshit been happening because think about your grandparents or your great grandparents who stayed married, but they got like side babies. One of them slept with your auntie, stuff like that. That's been happening in families, Why does this thing keep closing? Everyone isn't everybody's business. Have less time to deal with self. Should we bring up TS or leave him out? Who's TS? Who's TS? I mean, yeah, everybody's in everybody's business. Yeah. Everybody's in everybody's business. Everybody's gossiping about everybody. And you get to choose, is what I'm trying to convey. You get to choose, because I took a break from YouTube for a reason, because it was getting too toxic. It was getting too poisonous. I took a 5-month break off YouTube. And YouTube is the only platform out of all of the platforms I've been on, and y'all know I'm on a lot of platforms, this is the most toxic environment I have ever been on. ever been on. Now, TikTok, the good thing about TikTok is when somebody's being toxic in my comment section, I could block his ass and never see that person again, right? Unless they try to troll me again, but at the same time, it's still hard to do that because it's so many people following me, right? On YouTube, if you block somebody, they can still see your videos from their account. And that has been the main problem with YouTube. If YouTube had a way that if you blocked somebody, they could never see your content again, YouTube wouldn't be this toxic. Instagram is way more positive. Like I see a lot of positive people on there. I don't see a lot of beef on Instagram like that. So I guess it just depends on your social circle. On Instagram, it's a lot of life coaches, business coaches, where all the wealthy people at. That's where us wealthy people hang. That's where I be at. Like I could be on YouTube, but to me, I feel like, and I know y'all gotta see this inside my comment section because I keep complaining about it. I don't like remedial shit. I don't like trolling. And for some reason, when people come in my comment section for the past couple of years, it's just been insults and all types of just stuff that's not intellectual. And so it's been bothering me. So I started to believe that this was just a platform for people to just be stupid on. And so it was just like, let me see where else I can go, where I can find like some people who are like-minded, where we can sit down and have something intellectual to discuss. Because YouTube's boring the fuck out of me. I get onto Instagram, it's completely different. It's completely different because, I don't know, I guess it's just the social circle I chose. It could be it. It's the social circle I chose because a lot of the people that follow me on Instagram are people that follow me on Facebook because we went to college together. So it's a different kind of person over there. People on YouTube were just people on YouTube that I kind of didn't know. And then the black man on here had like took over this platform to where it became like this toxic place for women. And so I didn't feel like I could grow here, you know. Who is, why can I see that? Why do you ask proof? I explained that earlier. Why did I ask proof for Kevin's wealth? But I'll say it again. And I'm not gonna tolerate stupid shit. Okay, I'm telling you that right now, I just block you. So I don't go around telling people I'm this multimillionaire. Okay, that's not what I tell people. If you could read inside of my book, Owner Opulence, I flat out say I'm not a multimillionaire. Okay? Kevin Samuels told people he was a millionaire. He told people he had all this money. He wore tailored suits. He did all this. But he didn't teach y'all shit. The way that I prove that I have money is I teach you how I got it. If you looked on my Instagram or my community tab, it's always been finance tips, business tips, entrepreneurial tips. You know that if you was truly a supporter of mine, because that's what I post. I post finance tip, life coaching, stuff like that. Kevin Samuels was posting about fashion, cologne, and how much you should hate black women. Usually wealthy people, we want other people to be wealthy. So we teach wealth. He wasn't teaching wealth. He wasn't doing Boyce Watkins type of stuff. Boyce Watkins teaches wealth. He wasn't like Dave Ramsey or some shit. He wasn't like Earn Your Leisure. And when the rumor spread that Kevin Samuels was making less than $1,000, people was trying to say that that was a rumor. To me, the reason why it's not a rumor to me is because for over a year, for the past year, I had been doing research about his finances, and plenty of people have come onto this platform and spoke about how fraudulent he was before now. And y'all wasn't watching those videos. Marquette Burton did a very good video about how fraudulent Kevin Samuels was and how he didn't have a legitimate business in his name. And so when I was seeing people accumulating all of these documents, showing documents that his wife had filed for bankruptcy, showing documents that he had all of this back child support. At some point, I had to realize that there's a possibility that he was fraudulent. So as I'm saying, as I posted the video of me saying Kevin Samuels made less than $1,000, people were telling me I was wrong, right? So my thing is, if I'm incorrect and I'm speaking incorrectly about someone, give me proof that that's what I'm doing so I can correct my behavior. So if I'm saying something negative about Kevin Samuels, tell me so I can make a video about it and say, hey, he is a millionaire. Here's the proof. That's all I want. You know, it's not my income versus his. I don't care how much money he made. But for me, I don't want for me to just be wealthy. I want everyone to have money. I don't think I should be the only one just sitting here hoarding money. I'm not Scrooge McDuck. Okay. I'm not I'm not swimming through coins, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like for people to run me my stack, but I want everybody to be free. Okay? So I teach wealth. That's what my book Owning Opulence is about, teaching wealth. It's not me versus Kevin Samuels. It's not me versus my money versus his, or which one of us is the millionaire, or which one of us needs to prove it. My thing is, if I'm incorrect about dude, correct me so I can correct my steps online, because I don't want to be saying something wrong about someone. I speak the truth about people. If the dude got money and he's a multimillionaire, he got over because people trying to say he got over $4.2 million. Okay, if that is true, send me some proof so I can say that. You know what I mean? Because apparently can't nobody find no real solid proof of that. And that's hard to believe because everyone who is making over a million, like we just said, everybody in everybody's business. It's hard for you to have privacy around here. So if he really had $4.5 million, somebody somewhere knows that to be true and has proof of that. That's why I'm asking you to send it to me so I can make a video about it. Because if I make a video about it, it'll spread. If I put it, listen, if I say Kevin Samuels was definitely a millionaire and I put that shit on TikTok, it's going to spread. So, because right now everybody think his ass broke. Everybody believe it. You know what I mean? Like, when I get on TikTok, that's what people saying. Kevin Samuels is broke. That's what they say. You know what I mean? So it's not like the only people, what I noticed, the only people that's defending him is people on YouTube. Everybody else is not really feeling dude. Like, I, anyway, I'm gonna go. I had some Stella Rosa, and I'm gonna take my ass to sleep, get my first little break that I had in a long time. I'm gonna lay down, close my MacBook, and enjoy my first celebration alone. I'm about to call my son, make sure my son is okay, and I'm gonna go to bed. Now, this is what I want y'all to do for me if y'all can. It's very important. Whatever videos, whatever topics y'all want me to talk about, please tell me. And please share my videos because I'm trying to keep my YouTube channel. And I don't want to delete it. I really don't, but it's been difficult getting views on here since basically Priest. And it just got worse with time, and you know, the manosphere is kind of, so whatever kind of content that y'all want to watch. And here's another thing. I don't understand why anybody would be upset about me talking about Kevin Samuels when everybody's talking about him. Like, before I go, another thing. I said I wasn't going to talk about Kevin Samuels, right? I said, I'm not going to talk about this dude. Fuck this dude. I ain't say fuck this dude. I was just like, I'm not going to talk about him because I don't feel like that's a good idea. And then people just kept asking me. And I was like, maybe I should just go ahead and do it, you know? Because honestly, what y'all want to watch on my channel is usually shit that's trending, not stuff that I want to talk about. So I was like, do I want to be the person that talks about what's trending on YouTube, or do I want to just be Soncerae and keep talking about the stuff I want to talk about? The stuff I want to talk about might not be that trending. Think about, what are we talking about right now? What are we talking about right now? Is love more important than money? A lot of people don't care to have that conversation. They don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about some other shit that I don't give a fuck about. But I just can't believe that I'm struggling with a YouTube channel that I've had since 2008. But I flourish on other platforms. YouTube is the only platform that I'm having a difficult time on. And I think could be just my energy, could be just my attitude, about it, because I don't like negativity, and I don't like the negative experiences that I had on here and the trauma associated with this platform. Because the trauma associated with this platform did a lot of negative things to my life because of the people on here. And remember what I said about tools. It's not YouTube. It's the people on YouTube. The stuff that a lot of them did. And so as I sit here and I try to stay on this platform, it could be difficult. It was difficult at first because a lot of the comments, people were making were kind of remedial. But now people are starting to, be a little bit more intellectual. And I do want to say I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. But I want y'all to put forth some effort. I'm sorry. And give me some suggestions on how to keep my channel and how to get my channel to be more successful. I would love that if y'all could do that. You could just email it to me, When you coming to Louisiana? I ain't coming to Louisiana. You gonna pay me? You gonna run me my stack? You run me my stack. I come to Louisiana. I need about $3,000. I come to Louisiana, you give me $3,000. I gotta go though, because I'm a little tipsy and I gotta go lay down. So I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.